Hello, this is Asher Kanoon with Banyan Security, and today we're going to look at a demo of single-click access. Before we get to the demo, I'm just going to quickly go through how Banyan ZTNA works so you know the components that are involved and what's really going on behind the scenes. We're going to look at a very simple end-user experience. The user will not even know that Banyan is running, but a lot of cool things happen in the background. And that's when we're going to switch over to the admin portal to see what's happening in the background. For Banyan Zero Trust Access, there are three components. There's the Banyan app that gets installed. This can be a manual installation. It can be installed using like a SCCM. And as part of the installation, there's certificates and things that are installed that we use. Then there's the flexible edge. This is a component that could be a small connector that gets installed on your network to give the end user access to everything that's on-prem and cloud resources. And then there's the cloud command center. That's where all the configuration and everything gets done. It's one place where you log in to configure your full global deployment. So when the end user makes the request actually goes to the flexible edge first, then to the command center, and then there's some things that happen in the command center. We reach out to like a SAML or OIDC identity provider, and then we fetch a bunch of device trust information. All of this stuff can be completely transparent to your end user, which makes this single-click access easy. So in this case, the trust score for the user is at a point that we allow, and they get access to their internal applications. If for whatever reason the trust score gets evaluated and it doesn't meet the threshold that we've set, then everything gets denied right away. And we'll take a look at this also in the demo. Okay, so here I have my browser. I have a link to an internal application. This is the trials platform for Medsoft Digital. And from an end user, they'll usually have a bookmark that they save. So they just want to go about their work as usual. So in this case, I'm going to hit enter. And as you can see, I've actually gotten into my application. And you might be telling yourself, well, is this a web-hosted application? Like, what's really going on? Well, a lot of things happened. Authentication happened based on a certificate. That's transparent to the user. The authorization happens in the background. There's also device posture assessments that are happening. So you can see I accessed everything and I didn't have to use my client. But let's take a quick look at the client. So this is the Banyan desktop application. As you can see, I am not logged into the application. I don't need to be logged in for this proxied access. If we look at the device state, my device is at 100% trust level. So all of this stuff happens in terms of figuring out the state of the device, working with the EDRs or UEMs to make sure that we're getting all the device information. And because I'm an authenticated user on a device that's meeting the trust score and I'm authorized to access the application, I was actually let in. Right, so for the end user, they never have to actually interact with the client. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And they're just able to proceed with their work as usual. So in this case, I was able to access an internal application that's sitting behind one of our connectors. So this is completely private, but it let us in. So now I'm going to go into the admin console and show you what actually happened. Test drive is the organization for this user. Now, if I go and I look at the logs, we can see the log actually starts here. So I'm on my MacBook Pro. This is the user is Asher. We actually have federation that works with Okta. The way we do single click is Okta generates a token. The token is then shared between the end user device and the cloud controller, and it authenticates me using certificate-based and these tokens. It knows that my device is a trusted device. In this case, we do the device check here, and my device it meets all the compliance checks and everything, so we're good to go. And then I'm served up the application. The application does sit behind one of our connectors, so as long as my device is in compliance, I should be good to go. Okay, so now we're going to take a quick look and see what happens when my device goes out of compliance. So for this to happen, I'm going to run a bit mining script that gets detected as something that we don't want running. It gets detected and triggered through our integration with CrowdStrike, and it'll tell us that, hey, you're running a script or something on your system that you shouldn't be. My trust score will go down, and then I'll lose access to my internal application. I'm going to go ahead and run the bit mining script. So it's going to start a container. It's going to start running the package that has the bit mining malware, I guess you can call it, in there. And it's already started and running. Now let's take a look at what happens to my trust score. So my trust score is now 0 because malware was detected. And then if we go back and look at access, if I refresh this, now I have unauthorized access because my device is out of compliance. And if I go back to my logging, refresh this page, now you can see that my device, the trust score doesn't meet the authorized level, and I no longer have access.